Here's your General Hospital spoiler sneak peek video for Wednesday, October 29th, 2025. It didn't take Nina long to realize she could try to use her new assistant to help Willow. So what if Nina had just promised Ava she would stay out of it and just trust Alexis to do her job right? Nina can't just sit still and let Willow wallow in Pentonville with only a lawyer's help. So she offers Jacinda more money than Michael was paying her, so she would recant her statement and ruin Michael's alibi. Jacinda appears to take the money. But will she really do as promised? Nina sure seems to think so because she runs to Drew with the big news. In Nina's mind, Michael no longer has an alibi, which can only mean good news for Willow, right? The Quartermains are up in arms when Ronnie mentions her intention to sell Monica's house right out from under them. That's the last thing they ever expected her to do. So now Michael and Ned both know they can't trust Ronnie. And Tracy can tell them, "I told you so." First, Tracy tells Ronnie, "Over my dead body." It looks like an all-out war now in the Quartermain house. Wait till they learn Ronnie intends to sell the place to Drew. Ronnie had better run for cover, or maybe she should just tell the family the truth. Knowing that Rocco had dinner with Liesl and her clan has Lulu seeing red. She tells Dante that Rocco is doing things behind their back and doesn't seem to understand the concept of running things by them first. Dante doesn't see this as being a big deal, but Lulu begs to differ. Meanwhile, Nathan knows that Lulu is up in arms over the whole thing, so he visits Britt at General Hospital and warns her that she needs to stay away from Rocco. Britt doesn't take too kindly to warnings like that, so will she listen? Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The General Hospital scoop for Wednesday, October 20th. Hints, Tracy Quartermain will tell Ronnie Bard she is not selling the Quartermain estate. Also coming up, Nina Reeves will have good news for Drew Kane. Plus, Portia Robinson will make an admission to Ava Jerome. And Curtis Ashford will face off with Isaiah Gannon. GH spoilers tease Portia will get together with Ava at the Metro Court. She'll say she needs to tell her something. "Tell me, and I'll tell you if it's any good," Ava replies in the GH sneak peek. So, will Portia reveal her pregnancy and baby daddy dilemma? Over with Nina, who is sure that Jacinda Bracken will take her payoff. She told the former escort that she'd give her any amount of money she wanted in order to clear Willow Tate. On Wednesday, she'll tell Drew Jacinda isn't Michael Corinthos' alibi anymore. Meanwhile, Curtis will confront Isaiah at the hospital. Thanks to Jordan Ashford, he now knows his estranged wife is pregnant. However, will he impart this shocking information to Isaiah? Other GH spoilers tease Nathan West will tell his sister that Rocco Falconeri is going to be a problem. Plus, Lulu Spencer and Dante Falconeri will argue about their son. Finally, the Quartermain family will be stunned due to Ronnie's shocking announcement on Tuesday. When they try to talk some sense into her, she'll repeat that she is selling the estate. "Over my dead body," Tracy will reply. Of course, Tracy and the rest of the Quartermains have no idea that Martin Gray is blackmailing Ronnie. But will she tell them she's selling the house to Drew? At any rate, it looks like a great episode is coming up. Keep reading the Soap Scoop for more General Hospital spoilers and news, and make sure you join our free GH Facebook group. It's a classic soap opera setup. Boy meets girl, boy pays girl to give him an alibi for the night his uncle's sworn enemy was shot. Boy and girl pretend to be a couple to shore up said alibi. On daytime, this scenario seems like it would inevitably lead to boy and girl falling in love for real. But is that what's coming down the pike for Michael and Jacinda on General Hospital? Soap Opera Digest posed this million-dollar question to Rory Gibson, Michael's portrayer. Gibson thinks it's a definite possibility that Michael and Jacinda's alliance to safeguard Michael from possibly being arrested in conjunction with Drew's shooting could be a gateway to romance, and credits her portrayer, Paige Herschel, with being so easy to create on-screen sparks with. "Paige is just incredible," he praises. "She is just a great actress. And on top of that, she's a very, very kind person. She's very real. When we were first introduced, our rapport felt chill and easy. She's just a cool girl. I think it definitely works on screen. And behind the scenes, I know a couple of people on set who are like, "Oh, I hope this works out. There's a little something there." And I've been hearing similar things are being said online because I have a couple of friends who stay on top of that stuff and let me know what's going on. People seem really into it. But, he allows, some of the pro-Michael and Jacinda contingent might be willing to get on board with any woman who was paired with his brooding character. "I do think it's a combination," he muses. "Michael and Jacinda definitely have chemistry, but it also seems like people just really want Michael to have some love in his life." While viewers are clamoring to see Gibson get to play a romance on the show, looking for love isn't high on Michael's agenda at the moment, what with the obvious anxiety he's nursing about the PCPD fingering him for the shooting. And while he insists he didn't shoot Drew, the audience still doesn't know what he was doing on the night Drew was plugged with multiple bullets. Not even Gibson knows if Michael's claims of innocence, or Willow's insistence that her ex-husband planted the gun that got her arrested for the crime, are sincere or an elaborate lie, which has kept him on his toes as an actor. "I'm not a big surprise guy personally," he admits. "As an actor, I want as much information as I can possibly have. But the powers that be at GH like to keep things secret from us too. And even though I like to be in the loop and know things, I do think withholding information a little bit can be helpful because it makes for this very kind of enigmatic performance of like, I don't know if I did this or didn't do this. When you're portraying that, I think it can come across the way it actually would in real life. If you're on a show and you know where everything is going to lead, sometimes people have a tendency to play the outcome a little bit. But when you genuinely don't know, it lends itself a little bit more to a realistic telling, because if I was actually in the situation Michael is in, I would be acting my butt off to make sure I was presumed innocent. So, when we don't know if our characters are innocent or not, I think it works for the benefit of the show. General Hospital spoilers update for Wednesday, October 29th, reveals that Britt Westbourne will have a fierce showdown, while Veronica Ronnie Bard causes chaos. Lulu Spencer will also lose it on Dante Falconeri, so there will be plenty of conflict happening. At the Quartermaine mansion, Ronnie's decision to sell the place won't go over well with Tracy Quartermaine, who'll snap that it'll happen over her dead body. Nevertheless, Ronnie will stand her ground on making the sale. Martin Gray warned Ronnie that she had to sell it to Drew Kane, but there's still a chance another buyer could come into play sooner or later. Whatever the case, Ronnie may announce her decision to leave Port Charles as well. That part would be fine with Tracy if Ronnie weren't displacing all the Quartermaines from the family home on her way out. While Ronnie causes chaos at the Q House, Portia Robinson seems poised to spill her pregnancy secret to Ava Jerome and get some advice. However, it's too late for Portia to handle this in a way that prevents backlash. Curtis Ashford just learned the truth from Jordan Ashford instead of Portia, so he's obviously not pleased about that. Now Curtis is wondering if Portia plans to keep this baby or not, so he needs to locate her ASAP. Curtis will pump Isaiah Gannon for information at the hospital, but Isaiah may think Curtis should just leave Portia alone at this point. It's possible Curtis will reveal that Portia's pregnant, and if he does, then Isaiah may realize there's a chance he's going to be a father. Portia's baby daddy mystery will definitely shake things up for Isaiah and Curtis in the coming episodes. In the meantime, Britt will face some hospital drama of her own. That's because Britt's going to get under Elizabeth Baldwin's skin in Wednesday's episode and launch a heated confrontation in the process. Britt will also face Nathan Owen's surprise arrival at GH, so he'll alert her to a Rocco Falconeri issue. Nathan suggested Lulu should wait and let Rocco come clean on his own about his sneaky dinner. Rocco secretly shared a meal with Nathan, Britt, and Liesl Obrecht. But Lulu's willing to let Rocco make a confession instead of confronting him. Dante Falconeri will get updates on Rocco's dinner behind his parents' back and apparently corner Rocco about it. That could lead to a major teen outburst and leave Lulu fuming over Dante not handling this correctly. While Lulu blasts Dante, Nina Reeves will inform Drew Kane that she took care of Jacinda Bracken and that she'll no longer be serving as an alibi for Michael Corinthos. Although Nina will feel confident that her payment to Jacinda will put the matter to rest, she'll be wrong about that. It looks like Jacinda will deliver the check to Michael instead and give him news on Nina's latest bribe. Jacinda has grown to trust and care about Michael, so she won't want to bail on him now. Instead, Jacinda may wonder how Michael wants to play this and express her willingness to tell the PCPD about Nina's dirty move. General Hospital spoilers say Nina may add to Willow Tate's legal woes, so don't miss all the action. General Hospital spoilers hint that Willow Tate may trade Pentonville for Ferncliff, so will a transfer bring a story shakeup? Daisy Gilmore's stalker still needs mental help and may be forced to undergo treatment once the truth comes out. Willow insists she was framed for shooting Drew Kane, so it's possible she's telling the truth and genuinely didn't pull the trigger on him. However, Willow certainly isn't some innocent, delicate flower who needs to be protected the way Harrison Chase thinks she does. Based on Willow's past behavior, she's proven just how low she's willing to sink. Michael Corinthos tried to convince Chase that Willow was behind the Daisy stalking incidents, but Chase refused to believe him. Of course, GH fans know it's true since the show let us see Willow in action back when Daisy was being targeted. Even if Willow gets exonerated in Drew's case, she still deserves to pay for what she did to Daisy. Willow may not have legitimately put the baby in danger, but she's the reason Sasha Gilmore Corbin got scared enough to leave town with Daisy in tow. There's also a chance that Willow will be convinced to take some sort of plea deal or use an insanity defense if it looks like the Drew case won't go her way. Alexis Davis could perhaps shift gears and try to argue that Willow's mental downward spiral means she belongs in Ferncliff rather than Pentonville. Let's face it, Willow has gone through a terrible character transformation that will hopefully be undone at the end of this storyline. A stint in Ferncliff might actually do Willow some good and get her life moving in the right direction again. If Willow can get real mental help, then maybe she can finally be the mom that Wiley Corinthos and Amelia Corinthos deserve. There might even be hope for Willow and Michael's broken relationship at some point way down the line. Michael and Willow loved each other deeply once upon a time, so never say never on a reunion if Willow can truly get her act together. That said, General Hospital spoilers suggest Willow has to find a better path forward first, so stay tuned for updates on any big news regarding her future. Here is your General Hospital recap for Tuesday, October 28, 2025. In her office, Nina lamented the recent court proceedings to Ava, who reminded Nina that Willow had said she hated her mother before. "Nina, I'm sure she didn't mean it. You did what was best for both of you," Ava said. Nina vowed to help Willow get exonerated. Ava advised Nina to be careful, and then was shocked when Ava praised Alexis's courtroom skills. Ava tried to play it cool. "I have no doubt about her skill in the courtroom. The best way to help Willow is to let Alexis do her job." In the lobby, Jacinda was nervous for her first day at work at Crimson, telling Michael that, "The editor-in-chief was the person who paid me to drug Drew," she admitted. Michael calmed Jacinda down before walking into Nina's office and introducing her to her new assistant. "Over my dead body," Nina announced. "That's fine by me if that's how you want it," Michael quipped. Ava tried to leave, but Nina asked her to stay and insisted that Jacinda would not be her assistant. She didn't trust Jacinda, especially now that you're lying to protect Michael. Nina then accused Michael of shooting Drew and framing Willow. Michael and Nina hurled a few accusations back and forth before Ava stepped in and convinced Nina to accept Jacinda as her assistant. Michael and Ava both left, but Michael made sure to kiss Jacinda before his final exit. Once alone, Nina wrote Jacinda a check asking her to recant the alibi she gave Michael. Ned met with his mother at the restaurant. Tracy was surprised he wanted to be seen with the pariah of Port Charles. Ned told Tracy she was being a bit melodramatic. Olivia approached the table and told her that the meeting was her idea. Olivia suggested handling this family feud by waiting for tempers to die down. Tracy didn't go for it. She was not about to make peace with Ronnie. Ned said she was making a huge tactical error. Ned told Tracy that getting kicked out of the house rendered her powerless. "So you need to pretend to make peace with Ronnie," Ned said. Olivia wanted real peace, but Tracy wanted to hear what Ned had to say. "You need to stop playing her game, get back in the house, and start playing your game," he added. Tracy agreed. Olivia was confused because she thought Ned liked Ronnie. "That doesn't mean that I trust her. She's a little too good to be true," Ned admitted. Olivia disagreed with them both. Tracy called her daughter-in-law hopelessly naive. Michael soon approached the table and admitted he wasn't sure if he trusted Ronnie or not. "The jury's still out," he said, but liked the idea, or Tracy apologizing, whether she meant it or not. Ronnie opened the front door to find Marty standing there. She didn't seem to know him well. He told her he was there on behalf of Drew. Ronnie said she told Drew the house was not for sale and tried to close the door in Marty's face. He protested and asked to come in. As soon as they got into the living room with the door closed, Ronnie let loose. "What the hell are we doing here? You said we shouldn't be seen together," Mary shouted. Marty replied, "Unless one of us does something stupid, they're never going to figure out we're working together." Ronnie tried to get Marty to leave, but he refused. "Your house, your newfound fortune. None of this would be yours if it weren't for me because, as we both know, Monica didn't write you into her will." "I did," Marty said. "The simple fact is, if I hadn't forged Monica's will, you'd be stuck waiting on tables for the rest of your life. The truth is, the only thing Monica left you in your will is a locket." Ronnie admitted she would have been fine if that were the case. We learned that Ronnie had shot Marty down as soon as he suggested the idea, but she changed her mind when she met Tracy. "She treated me like dirt," Ronnie seethed. "That's just who she is," Marty sighed. "I wish that this were just about Tracy. The rest of the family has been so kind and wonderful, and I hate deceiving them. This house should not be mine," Ronnie insisted. Marty demanded that she sell the house to Drew. Ronnie refused because she knew Monica would not want her to sell to Drew. "I'm not going to sell this house from under the family," Ronnie said. Monica loved this house, and she loved the fact that her whole family was here with her. "I am not going against her wishes." Marty pointed out that selling the house to Drew would drive Tracy nuts. Ronnie was shocked by Marty's vitriol against Tracy. Marty told Ronnie about Tracy having him arrested early this year. As Marty rambled on, Ronnie realized that he was the one who spiked her tea. That's when Marty grew threatening and warned Ronnie that if she spilled the beans on what he did, she would be liable for fraud. "I'll take away everything you have, including your freedom." After Marty left, Ronnie sat on the sofa in tears, looking at her locket. Suddenly, Ned, Olivia, Michael, and Tracy walked in. Tracy put on an act and told Ronnie she wanted to bury the hatchet and start over. "I agree with that. I think we could all use a fresh start," Ronnie said. "Which is why I have decided to sell the house." Jack arrived at Anna's office to tell her that her request to visit Valentin had been denied. Jack was annoyed that Anna made the request by going around him. Anna suggested they could just work together. Jack said he didn't trust Anna because she lets her personal feelings interfere with her work. Anna insisted that Jack needed her. "Whatever it is you're investigating, it has to do with Faison, right? And nobody knew that man better than I did," she stressed. Jack admitted that he didn't know how all the puzzle pieces fit, but Valentin did. Anna thought that was all the more reason for her to talk to him. Jack was worried that Anna was too loyal to Valentin, so he wanted Anna to earn his trust. He just didn't know what she needed to do to earn it yet. However, Jack did tell Anna that Valentin revealed a connection between Faison and Sidwell. Anna was stunned by that news as Jack walked out the door. Jason found Carly at the Metro Court and asked her a pointed question. "Why are you doing everything in your power to avoid me?" Carly insisted that wasn't true, but asked Jason to make it quick because she was supposed to have dinner with Jack. Jason was surprised that Carly was still seeing the man. "I told you he recruited Jocelyn into the WSB, and it doesn't seem you've confronted either of them yet," Jason said. "That's because you told me not to," Carly responded. That just roused Jason's suspicions. "Since when do you ever listen to me? What are you up to?" he asked. Carly claimed she wasn't up to anything. "While I hate the situation that Jocelyn is in, there's nothing I can do about it," she said. Jason didn't buy it. Carly explained that she hated Jack, but couldn't afford to break things off yet. "As long as we stay together, he has a strong incentive to keep my daughter safe," Carly reasoned. Jason thought faking a relationship with Jack was too dangerous. Just then, Jack came along. Jason walked away, so Carly told Jack that Jason was giving her an earful about him. Carly changed the subject and lied that Lulu didn't want Charlotte traveling back and forth to Switzerland, so Jack had to consider getting Valentine transferred to a closer facility. As for Jason, he stormed into Anna's office as she was researching Sidwell. "I need your help, Jocelyn. I need to find a way to get her out of the WSB," Jason declared. Anna explained that it had to be Jocelyn's choice to leave. She suggested getting her out from under Jack's supervision so she'd be on safer assignments. They just needed to help Jack complete his current mission first. Jack just informed me that somehow Faison is involved. After seeing Jordan's reaction to the suggestion that they try again, Curtis wondered if it might be too late. A tearful Jordan said she'd love to try again, but she can't. A perplexed Curtis wanted to know what was stopping her. Jordan said she would never keep a secret from him again, so she knew she had to tell the truth. "Curtis, Portia's pregnant." Curtis had to absorb that information for a few minutes. He couldn't imagine how Portia could be pregnant when they've barely had sex for months. Jordan pointed out that one time was all it takes. Curtis asked how she knew. So Jordan told him she saw how Portia was acting at the tea party, but she didn't know for sure. Curtis realized that he and Portia needed to talk. "Whatever decision you make, I'll understand," Jordan said. Curtis just feared that Portia might have decided not to keep the baby. At the cabin Lucky gave him, Isaiah presented Portia with food and wine, which left her wondering if she should tell him why she shouldn't drink. Portia changed the subject and didn't take a drink, calling the place cozy and safe. Portia and Isaiah ended up in bed, but he was soon called to the hospital. That's where he ran into Curtis. General Hospital spoilers for the week of November 3 to 7 reveal that Carly Spencer's manipulation will pay off while Emma Scorpio Drake deals with an enemy switch. Willow Tate will also remain stuck in a mess, so here's what GH fans can expect. After Jen's Sidwell slides Britt Westbourne into Professor Henry Hank Dalton's research spot, that could affect Emma's storyline in a big way. Emma has been scheming to bring Dalton down and expose the animal testing that she thinks he's doing. Dalton is tangled up in something far worse, but now it's Britt who'll be taking the lead. Emma will inevitably find out Britt is running the research show instead of Dalton now, so that could bring their old feud back into play. We'll no doubt see an enemy switch up for Emma once she realizes Britt is the one she should really be after. Over with Carly, her manipulation will work out well. Carly planted the idea in Jack Brennan's head to transfer Valentine Cassadine to a closer WSB prison facility, so Brennan will take her advice. Valentine is sure to voice his gratitude the next time Carly pays him a disguised visit. As a reward for Carly's efforts, Valentine may offer up some guidance on what the next step of her Brennan revenge plot should be. Next, Portia Robinson may have to acknowledge the paternity dilemma she's facing. Curtis Ashford and Isaiah Gannon are both father candidates, so Portia may have to play referee between them as they all prepare for a DNA test in the not-too-distant future. At Pentonville, Willow may get another visit from Alexis Davis as they strategize ahead of her trial. Nina Reeves's attempt to bribe Jacinda Bracken could potentially add to Willow's problems. It's clear that Willow's facing quite the legal jam, but Alexis will keep doing her part to get her out of it. Drew Kane will do the same, but he'll face some challenges along the way. As for Laura Collins, she'll be suspicious over Veronica Ronnie Bard's abrupt decision to sell the Quartermain mansion and leave town. That won't line up with Laura's last conversation with Ronnie at all, so it's easy to see why she'll have concerns. If Laura finds out Martin Gray talked Ronnie into making this sale, she may put him through a grilling session. Meanwhile, Anna Devane could put herself at risk now that she knows Sidwell is connected to Caesar Faison's project. If Sidwell gets updates on Anna's digging, he could plot to get rid of her. General Hospital spoilers say the week of November 3 to 7 will bring some jaw-dropping news and some unsettling moments, so stay tuned. General Hospital spoilers hint that Jacinda Bracken will trick Nina Reeves and Drew Kane before handing a bribery check to Michael Corinthos. In the October 28th episode, Nina wasn't happy about Michael pressuring her to hire Jacinda as her new assistant at Crimson. Although Nina eventually caved in with a little nudge from Ava Jerome, she shifted gears once she was alone with Jacinda. Nina assumed Michael must be paying Jacinda to be his alibi, so she gloated about her own wealth as she went digging for her checkbook. Since Nina's willing to pay pretty much anything to help exonerate Willow Tate, She thinks she's got the upper hand. In fact, Nina will seem quite smug on the October 29th episode when she goes to Drew with updates and insists Jacinda isn't Michael's alibi anymore. It sounds like Nina will pat herself on the back for taking care of the Jacinda problem, but things won't be quite that simple. In GH's preview video for the week of October 27 to 31st, Jacinda's hand can be seen sliding a check across the table. The man she's sliding that check to appears to be Michael, so it looks like Jacinda will pass quite the loyalty test. Nina may be in for a rude awakening once Jacinda gives Michael that bribery check, instead of going along with what Nina wants. Jacinda might suggest she could tell the police about this bribe and make more waves for Willow as well as Nina. Ava already warned Nina not to do anything else that could backfire on Willow, but Nina may have done even more damage. Nina needs to learn that sometimes backing off is what's best for her daughter. Willow just wants Nina to leave her alone at this point, and considering all the accidental sabotage Nina's doing to her case, maybe she should listen. General Hospital spoilers say Nina could create another tight spot for herself along with Willow, so stay tuned for any alarming news to come. General Hospital spoilers hint that Veronica Ronnie Bard may sell the house to a surprise mystery buyer and deliver Drew Kane's crushing blow. Will Drew get some news that leaves him fuming soon enough? Martin Gray hinted that he might be able to help Drew by convincing Ronnie to sell the Quartermaine mansion. That'll lead to Martin blackmailing Ronnie since they've got a hidden alliance. Martin may threaten to expose the changes he apparently made to Monica Quartermaine's will, and try to pin all this on Ronnie if she doesn't cooperate. However, Ronnie might do some negotiating since she genuinely cares about Monica's legacy and doesn't want Drew to have the house. Now that Ronnie's seen for herself what a rotten scoundrel Drew is, she'd rather see the place go to almost anyone else. Perhaps Ronnie will agree to sell the mansion as long as Drew isn't the buyer. After all, Martin never made any firm promises to Drew and simply suggested it was worth the old college try. Drew made things right for Stella Henry in the end, but he betrayed Martin and nearly sent her to prison. Martin obviously isn't a fan of Drew at this point, so it's not like he's really wanting to do him any favors. Martin's main goal is going after revenge on Tracy Quartermaine, so he can still accomplish that if Ronnie sells to someone else. Perhaps Martin will decide it'll be better to get his partner in crime out of town and stick it to Tracy by having the Quartermaine mansion outside the family. Martin may hope that the Quartermaines will still have to move out so that Tracy's misery will continue. As for the surprise buyer's identity, that could be a mystery for GH writers to solve in the coming episodes. Someone unexpected might step up and purchase the Quartermaine house, so stay tuned to see who the buyer might be. General Hospital spoilers say Drew has some difficult updates ahead of him, which could mean he'll miss out on his chance to make this big purchase. General Hospital spoilers for Wednesday, October 29th, reveal that Tracy Quartermaine will deliver a dead body threat, while Nathan West spreads the word about a Rocco Falconeri problem. Drew Kane will also react to some Jacinda Bracken news, so let's talk about what's coming up in Port Charles. First, it looks like Portia Robinson will catch Ava Jerome off guard by admitting her pregnancy and biodad dilemma. At GH, Curtis Ashford will have a fierce face-off with Isaiah Gannon now that he knows about the baby and has shown up looking for Portia. Isaiah may argue that Curtis needs to move on, but will Curtis reveal why he can't and mention the pregnancy curveball? If so, that could lead to Isaiah realizing he's a father candidate too. Next, Britt Westbourne will have a showdown with Elizabeth Baldwin after they push each other's buttons. At some point, Nathan will show up looking alarmed as he tells Britt they have a problem, namely Rocco. Whether this is about Lulu Spencer's recent dinner reaction or some new trouble that Rocco's about to land in, Nathan will sound the alarm to Britt. As for Lulu and Dante Falconeri, they'll get into a heated argument on Wednesday's episode. Rocco's sneaky behavior will lead to some clashing between his parents, so stay tuned for Dante and Lulu's conflict. Over with Nina Reeves, she'll surprise Drew by revealing that Jacinda isn't Michael Corinthos' alibi anymore. Nina made it clear to Jacinda that she'd pay anything to exonerate Willow Tate, so it seems Jacinda struck a deal with her off-screen or will strike one on Wednesday. However, it looks like Jacinda played Nina, since GH's weekly promo seemingly shows Jacinda sliding that check to Michael. It's possible Jacinda will offer to tell the cops that Nina tried to bribe her, which could make things even worse for Willow. Regardless, it seems Jacinda will stay loyal to Michael and the alliance they've formed, which could turn to love if this keeps up. At the Quartermain mansion, Veronica Ronnie Bard will repeat her announcement about selling the house, though she hasn't confirmed whether she's selling it to Drew or not. There's a chance Ronnie negotiated with Martin Gray off-screen to sell to someone other than Drew. But it's also possible he stood his ground on Drew being the buyer. Either way, Tracy will warn that Ronnie will sell the house over her dead body. Despite Tracy's outrage, Ronnie will insist her mind's made up and will plan to move forward with the sale Martin's forcing. Drew will deal with a stumbling block later this week. So could that involve not being able to purchase the house after all? Could it involve the Jacinda mess instead? General Hospital spoilers say Drew has a new crisis ahead of him regardless, so stick with us for updates on all the turmoil. Raina Sofer shared her gratitude for the cast, crew, and fans as she stepped away from the role of Lois, for now. Lois has once again packed her big Bensonhurst heart and headed out of Port Charles, this time with a plane ticket to Seoul in hand. She shared an emotional goodbye with Brooklyn and revealed that she's officially joining Blaze on tour as her manager, with her first stop being South Korea. As far as exits go, this one came with a clear message. The door isn't locked, it's cracked wide open, and in a new interview, Raina Sofer made it clear she's not ruling anything out. Sofer talked to Soap Opera Digest and reflected on her 2-year return to GH. She left the show nearly 30 years ago, and in between her visits to Port Charles, she played Quinn on The Bold and the Beautiful for a decade. Reprising the role wasn't just about picking up where she left off, it was about reconnecting with her past. I loved stepping back into Lois's shoes 2 years ago, along with the chance to play the amazing story of Gio's birth and all the secrets Lois was keeping, Sofer told the outlet. That arc, which unraveled decades of family secrets between Lois and Brooklyn, gave her a meaty story that felt worthy of a character who helped define an era of GH. She also made a point of acknowledging the people who made it easy to return. Sofer expressed deep gratitude to the show's executive producer, Frank Valentini, and the writers for embracing her while she and her husband made their long-planned move to upstate New York. It was a practical chapter for her personally, but creatively, it was clearly one she cherished. If fans were worried this goodbye would be permanent, Sofer's not feeding the panic. In fact, she teased the opposite. You never know when Lois will return. Bensonhurst is only a phone call away, she said with that signature spark that made Lois unforgettable in the first place. This wasn't a tear-soaked, tied up with a bow kind of exit. It was a don't get too comfortable kind of exit. Lois is jetting off to Seoul, not vanishing into soap opera limbo. And Sofer knows exactly what that means, both for the fans and for her future on the show. If history's taught us anything, it's that Lois is a boomerang. She might be gone for now, but the next time Brooklyn needs her mom, or Port Charles needs a little Brooklyn-born chaos, she'll be back before you can say Bensonhurst. Charlotte, Rocco, and Danny are all in to help Gio and Emma save the animals. General Hospital loves a good teen story. Jocelyn and Trina have moved on to more adult storylines, so a new group has emerged. They are either about to have a great adventure or get themselves into real trouble. Gio and Emma make a great couple, and they are both passionate about their beliefs. Emma came to town to take down Dalton and his animal testing. The couple has been making plans to do so for a while, but it's time to get started, and they need help. Who better than Port Charles' latest group of teens? Charlotte, Danny, and Rocco. They all love animals, and it is a good cause. Gio and Emma said they would not be doing anything illegal, so what's the harm? This is a great group of kids, and it's time for them to take front and center in Port Charles. This could be a great adventure. This group means well. They only want to save the animals, but Dalton is creepy, and he works for Sidwell, who is even creepier. They have no idea what is really going on in that lab, but it is nothing good. Breaking into it is going to get them into deep trouble. Another problem for Danny is that Drew is out to get him. The congressman will use any wrong move on Danny's part to get him into trouble. The only saving grace is that Sidwell is looking to replace Dalton with Britt. She's not exactly a good guy, but she has a soft spot for Rocco, so she may help them get out of any trouble they get into. Whatever happens, it is nice to see the children of some legacy characters getting into adventures like their parents and grandparents did. General Hospital has Jen Sidwell wanting to get rid of Sonny Corinthos, and he just mentioned he is about to be done with the mob man once and for all. Sidwell would love to kill Sonny, but I suspect Sidwell might have a different outcome in mind. We're going to talk about how Sidwell might frame Sonny for crimes he didn't commit to send him to prison for life and get him out of Sidwell's way. So, Michael Corinthos, Sonny, and Carly Corinthos Spencer are all worried about Michael going down for Drew Kane Quartermain's shooting because Alexis Davis needs to prove Willow Tate is innocent. Part of a defense is to give an alternate suspect, and Christina Corinthos Davis is worried it's going to be Michael, which Alexis pretty much confirmed while they were talking. Drew is only going to let Alexis and the Davis family continue to see Scout Kane if Alexis does a great job defending Willow. Right now, it looks like Michael planted the gun to frame Willow. If so, Alexis needs to prove that, but circumstantially, it looks accurate. Proving that frame job could also prove that Michael shot Drew in terms of circumstantial evidence. The big question for me is if Michael did plant the gun, how did he know which gun from Edward's collection was used? Michael told Jacinda he didn't shoot Drew, but if he didn't, how did he know which gun to plant in Willow's room? That's the missing piece for me. Otherwise, the real shooter knew which gun it was, obviously. And then Michael just happened to be over there to offer Willow the chance to see the kids and somehow hope she would go down for the crime. There are just these loose ends about if Michael's not the shooter, how would he know what gun to plant? And did he actually plant it? He's acting like he did. So, that's kind of a missing link question for me. But in the end, I don't think either Willow or Michael actually shot Drew. I think it was somebody else, somebody like Sidwell, maybe the same way he killed the judge. I think he's playing a long plan to take down Sonny. Honestly, it's just kind of slow writing at this point. Either way, Michael's worried because he doesn't have an alibi. He did go over there with the intent to do something to Drew. Then Michael changed his mind and paid Jacinda, the soon-to-be ex-hooker, to fake his alibi. So, Michael is working overtime and he's trying to strengthen that fake alibi by reforming Jacinda, giving her a real job, and pretending that she and Michael are in a relationship. Jacinda even said it makes her wonder if Michael really did shoot Drew. Now Jacinda, after talking to him, seems to believe that Michael's innocent, and she's willing to go along with his plan and take the job, especially since Jacinda was asking about health insurance because apparently prostitutes don't usually get medical and dental coverage. While Michael is working to secure that alibi, things may take a shocking turn, and Sonny may be implicated instead of Michael. The Teflon Don of Port Charles could become the lead suspect and wind up in Pentonville, accused of trying to kill Drew. Recently, Marco was raging it to his dad, Sidwell, and saying that Sonny needs to pay for his mom, Natalia's death. Now she drank and drugged herself to death. But Marco fully blames Sonny for it. Sidwell then told Marco that very soon Sonny would be out of their way once and for all. But I don't think Sidwell is going to kill Sonny, even though he said it's tempting. And by saying it's tempting, that means to me that Sidwell considered it and then discarded the idea. I still think Sidwell blew up Sonny's penthouse. Since that didn't work, he has moved on to other ideas. So, I think Sidwell might be setting Sonny up for prison, possibly for the murder of Judge Heron, and also for Drew's shooting. If Sidwell can frame Sonny for murder and attempted murder of a sitting congressman, well, that should put him away for life. Get him out of the way, then he won't be a problem for Sidwell ever again. He can get control of Sonny's peers and use those for all his nefarious business needs. So, just based on Sidwell's chat with Marco, that's what I expect to see in November sweeps, which kicks off on Thursday, October 30th. Meanwhile, Sonny is hyper-focused on protecting Michael, so he may not see Sidwell coming for him to set him up. And of course, Sonny knows Sidwell is a threat, even though he claims he wants to put all their misunderstandings behind them, but he may be misreading what kind of threat that he is. Sonny thinks both Sidwell and Marco are up to something, But I don't think Sonny suspects Sidwell would frame him and send him to prison for Drew's shooting. I think Sonny's expecting Sidwell to just straight up try and kill him. So, Sonny should be blindsided. So will his family if it goes this way. One reason that Sidwell would also like to see Sonny in jail instead of dead is because he kidnapped Marco. And yeah, it's true. Sidwell burned down Christina's bar, but she wasn't even supposed to be there. Nobody was. And if she wasn't so dumb, she would have walked out safely on her own. Remember, there was no fire by the front door, but she stood there staring until it spread to the front door. And then the back door was still clear with no fire. And Christina stood there staring at that instead of running. It was some of the worst shot stuff. Basically, she was standing there intentionally, about to let herself burn to death on General Hospital. But then Marco ran in and rescued her. And as repayment for that good deed, Sonny kidnapped Marco to punish Sidwell rather than being grateful that Marco's not evil like his dad. Basically, Sidwell sees it that Sonny escalated by kidnapping and holding Marco prisoner. So, he may think Sonny needs to be imprisoned. Right now, the PCPD doesn't have Sonny or Jason Morgan at the top of their murder suspect board, which is pretty rare. Jason was in Croatia, so he has a perfect alibi. And Sonny wasn't ever really looked at closely because other people had more motive to kill Drew. And if it was Sidwell who had Drew shot because he was being difficult, and they were arguing, if you remember, he might be just making lemonade out of lemons. I do think Sidwell wanted Drew dead, but he survived. So Sidwell is going to pivot and use this to his advantage in another way. We could see some evidence turn up soon that points the PCPD in Sonny's direction. I mean, it's the perfect solution for Sidwell because he can get rid of Sonny without killing him or laying a hand on him, and Marco would be thrilled to see Sonny behind bars. Even if he's not being charged for Natalia, he's still paying for crimes. Then Sidwell can stay off the radar, watch Sonny be hauled off to Pentonville, and then Sidwell can run amok in Port Charles, flexing his power. Honestly, Sonny isn't convinced Michael is innocent of the shooting, so Sonny may actually do the time if he thinks Michael did the crime. Watch for this to explode in November sweeps as Sidwell's plan kicks into high gear. Secrets came flying out across Port Charles today. It was a big day for big reveals on the October 28, 2025 episode of General Hospital after Jordan spilled the beans and a side of Martin we've never seen came out. Martin has always been an upstanding citizen and lawyer who also acted as Laura's favorite brother. He may have had 3 divorces, but he's always proven to be a good guy. Until now. Many have suspected that Martin was the person behind Monica's shocking will, and today, he finally confirmed it when he confronted Ronnie about their secret plan. Ronnie, on the other hand, was pretty innocent in all of it, only going along with Martin's grand scheme to live in the Q mansion and get to know her estranged sister's family. But things became so much worse when Martin told Ronnie the next step, sell the house to Drew. That left everyone's jaws dropped, especially Ronnie's. Despite her attempt to fight Martin on it, he reminded her that if she backed out now, she would be admitting to fraud. So, when the Qs arrived to try and help Tracy smooth things over with Ronnie, she had no choice but to announce to them that she had decided to sell the house they all held dear. As Curtis pushed for a reunion between him and Jordan, she was forced to reveal what she learned about his soon-to-be ex-wife. Portia is pregnant, and the baby must be his, or so they think. Curtis was left reeling over the information, and ultimately decided he needed to find Portia to find out what she planned on doing about this pregnancy. Unbeknownst to everyone except Portia, the true baby daddy may very well be her new secret boyfriend, Isaiah, who she was spending the night at the cabin with. General Hospital spoilers for October 29th tease a face-off between Curtis and Isaiah, while Tracy fights Ronnie on her decision to sell the Q mansion. On the podcast, Bernard shares why he loved working with the legend during her General Hospital stint. In this exclusive clip from the We're Out of Time podcast, hosted by addiction expert Richard Tate, General Hospital's Maurice Bernard reflects on working with legendary One Life to Live actress Erica Slezak. For the last few weeks, the 6-time Daytime Emmy winner has been playing the late Monica Bard Quartermain's long-lost sister, Veronica. Bernard's episode of We're Out of Time drops today. The popular podcast is #1 in both mental health and fitness on Apple Podcasts. Slezak's Veronica hadn't seen her sister in decades, but she came to town just after her sister's death. And in the process, her presence has upended the Quartermain universe. However, around town, Veronica has established connections with a few key residents, and Sunny Corinthos is one of them. On the We're Out of Time podcast, Tayit speaks with Bernard about this on-screen moment that brought together two of daytime TV's most iconic actors. Bernard expresses to the host how much he loved working with the multiple Daytime Emmy Award winner. He calls her a legend and tells Tay the story of how the actress's husband loves the Sunny Corinthos character, despite not watching soap operas. Bernard also says that Slezak reminds him of one of the great actresses of our time, Ellen Burstyn, who won a Best Actress Oscar in 1975 for Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. Take a look at Soap Hub's exclusive clip. Richard Tay's We're Out of Time podcast takes a deep dive into the issues America can't afford to ignore, from the fentanyl crisis and mental health to parenting, resilience, and hope. The guests who share their stories with him and his listeners include celebrities, former addicts, wellness experts, athletes, musicians, influencers, and more. Earlier this month, Tay, along with Constance Scharf, PhD, released a book called Experiencing Transcendence: The Freedom of Recovering from Addiction and Trauma. It's a chaotic, clashy, confrontational kind of Wednesday in Port Charles. The General Hospital spoilers for Wednesday, October 29th, 2025, reveal showdowns, clashes, face-offs, and even a warning or two. Things are about to get chaotic and confrontational. Expect the dramatic, tension-filled Wednesday to include an announcement from Ronnie. It will be one that shocks the Quartermains. Is she about to kick them all out? Did she decide to sell the house to Drew after all? Or maybe she confesses that she has been working with Martin this whole time, and they messed with Monica's will. Stranger things have happened. Perhaps she tells them something she knows about Monica. Anything could happen here because Veronica Thay is an unpredictable and emotional individual. Regardless, there are plenty of opportunities for a clash or two to erupt during these scenes. Tracy is probably involved in the Ronnie/Quartermain madness. Meanwhile, Lulu has her own drama to deal with. The weekly teasers suggest that Lulu and Dante clash. This could be about what Lulu just learned from Nathan, that Rocco met up with his so-called other family for dinner: Nathan, Obrecht, Mutt, and Britt. Needless to say, Lulu wasn't happy, and she only calmed down after Nathan promised her he would keep an eye on Rocco when he's around that group. Lulu may not be able to calm Dante down once he finds out. He may not like her give Rocco space approach either. Speaking of Nathan, nobody knows how he is back or why he has returned. Currently, he's simply trying to adjust to being alive and well while also having no idea where he has been for the last 7 years. On Wednesday, he issues a warning to someone. Who is on the business end of this warning? As for Nathan's sister, Britt, look for her and Elizabeth to face off. Ever since a resurrected Britt returned to the land of the living, things between them have been super icy. To be fair, things were pretty cold between them before she allegedly died. However, there was a slight thaw, but that's clearly over. What triggers the co-workers to confront each other this time? Last, but certainly not least, we're about to get another tense Curtis and Isaiah encounter. Curtis has no idea that Portia and Isaiah are having an affair. Although, if the business executive and the doctor are having a heated chat, did the former private investigator track Portia down to Isaiah's cabin? If that's the case, this interaction isn't just about to get tense. Things may even get awkward. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.